Welcome into today's video. I'm going to be going over a mistake that I've made in my investing journey, and one thing that I've done in my previous years is underestimating how correlated risks are. And what I mean by this is that you have a seemingly diverse portfolio of risks, and one could, for example, be outside of the US, you've got another in the US, one is in a completely different industry from another. And yet there is still a very real possibility that these are all connected to one another. So a really good example that highlighted this for me was during the post-COVID period, where prior to that you had very low interest rates, and then sort of you had a massive spike occur, not just in the US but other countries as well, US, UK, etc. And as that happened, what you would then notice is with that spike in interest rates, is that businesses which had a ton of debt on the balance sheet, or businesses which were hardly profitable or losing money relying on sort of investor funding when money was dirt cheap, now actually all of them start to really struggle because of this. And on the surface, these are very different businesses, and yet they still ended up sort of being affected by the exact same sort of factors there. So for me, that really taught me a lesson in knowing that my portfolio is going to be a lot more concentrated than I think, in terms of there being less diversified and more exposed than I would have initially thought. So it really makes me sort of think in depth about each sort of risk I take on, associated with each position, and whether I'm comfortable with it, and just knowing that am I sort of being rewarded comfortably for the risks I'm taking on here, with it being correlated to other sort of businesses, and is it really a business that I want to hold in the long term truly? Because chances are at some point it'll be affected by something else again, and it may just mean that I might have to hold it for a bit longer until it recovers. So that's sort of my sort of lessons from that. Again, I'm still not perfect with it, but I do just take into account now, and I have shifted more towards a pretty much profitable only focus. It's very, very rare that I'll come across something that's unprofitable and I'll actually build a position in it. It has to truly be an exception where the risk reward is just ridiculous, and even then I'd probably still take a smaller position just because of the risk associated there. Thanks for listening. Hope you found it useful.